Is that your what's sexy?
That sounds like an old man problem.
No.
Hey man, that's homeownership.
Fucking nice, man.
Oh yeah, those are the things that make you go, ooh, yeah. Just like those fucking Geico commercials.
How's that tiny gecko have so many? How many?
All right, how long are we going to be here?
All right, fuck off. This week on the Red Eye Report, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We're talking about asbestos. It's the bestest. Unless you're lung tissue. Speaking of lung tissue, with as always is the opinionated windbag mystic.
That's me.
Most of its opinions are ashtray, shut the fuck up. Ashtray,
shut up.
You're late.
Shut
ashtray,
up.
Your mom hasn't responded to my dick pics. It just never stops.
Your mom? Oh, she responds to him. Are you kidding me?
Then
responds to him, buddy.
Then there's obviously a homeowner oracle. You see it all over his face. He's got a fucking limp dick chimney and a trailer park hydroponic system that only waters his garage floor.
I don't think a limp dick chimney is
limp
up to code.
dick chimney.
Yeah, that's not up to code.
Wasn't that the thing that they said that's out of code?
Yeah. I'm gonna tear that bitch
chimney.
off. Limp dick. Here, take this limp dick chimney and shove
Tear
it
it
up
off your house
fucking
and just
ass.
leave it on the front steps of the bank. Like
right. I'm gonna just
brick by
chain it to the back of my fucking car.
Here, you're cashing in some equity. That's part of the home property.
I'm fucking
value.
taking people out and fucking vehicles as I'm driving around.
It's like Ricky fucking pulling that ATM down the road.
Progressive.
Next to him is double feature drive-in Teddy. He's my favorite castmate.
Yeah,
and I'm the asbestos ass ashtray. I asked to burn a hold and the whole club down if it wasn't for that resilient asbestos briefs I wear. And this is the Red Eye Report.
Dude, it's not February. I don't have to be your favorite. You're cool.
Oh no, I'm just kissing ass. So, all right. Yes, tonight we're talking about asbestos, but first, cannot forget about our Dane County Humane Society weekly Pause for the Cause. And this week's pet is Chatterbait, who is a blind masturbating dolphin that is more in fucking holding, not really up for adoption to the general public, but
because he's dangerous.
Yeah, he just won't stop cackling and grinding.
Because those flippers can't reach his dick, so he's got to go.
They got some prehensile penises, man.
It has to go to a secure home
just
location.
Look at him with his little pinhole fucking eyes.
Yeah, he can't look at you, but he'll find you.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. This fat Billy's kicking my ass, so let's go.
All right.
God, this thing is ugly as shit. My God, look at that fucking thing. It's like a turd with a fucking...
Is that one of those freshwater dolphins?
Yeah, one of the Amazonian dolphins.
Look at
one
of those that swim upriver.
Yeah.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
if you got to compete with fucking crocodiles and hippos, you got to look tough. All right. Speaking of tough, asbestos.
It's terrifying.
Asbestos.
You know, we all think of asbestos as like this harmful, toxic substance that, like, you see the infomercials, like, you have mesothelioma. And were you working in this fucking project or whatever during this time? Call this lawyer. So do any of you guys know what asbestos is?
I have no idea.
Earlier, Oracle was like, I thought it was a new invention, right?
I thought it was. And like every time, so the last place that I worked, it was like in an older building or whatever. And they found out, they're like, oh, there's asbestos in the floor tiles or whatever.
Oh, no.
And I mean, it was like total freak out. I mean, over the top, and you didn't even know. It was like fucking Babadook asbestos. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
The asbestos is in the building.
And that's the thing, is like, it is. It's got a gun. It's one of those crazy stories where it's like too good to be true. And also, it's a good metaphor whenever you have someone who's like, it's natural, it's got to be safe. It's like, so is asbestos, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, because this is natural?
Asbestos is all natural.
See,
it is a mineral.
No idea.
It is a mineral in this like silica family, and it's kind of a broad term that covers 6 different types of asbestos, but the bestest asbestos is chrysolite. It's called, known as white asbestos. 95%
Of course, the white one is the
It's
best.
white power.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yep.
that black asbestos will kill you after it robs you.
There's like brown and blue asbestos.
I see where we're going with this show.
This shit. So it is. It's actually, it's a mineral, a rock, and when you see some pictures of it, I'm sure if I have them on
So
here.
what
Where
does it like a fucking rock, like
so
a big ass rock that you can?
Yeah, I should have.
I thought it was like kind of like a fiber, like a synthetic fiber, because it was used for insulation, right?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Think of it like a mineral layer of rock, but when you, like, it's got layers that you pull apart, and it's like fibers.
That's so fucking weird.
So it is formed on a molecular level of. Let me see if I can find the what it looks like spreading it apart. But on the molecular level, think of a triangle.
Got 2 weeks. The guy who asked for pictures in video. Got pictures ready.
And I know, right? I'm the guy who fucking failed Oracle.
Okay. I see the ore. This is the asbestos ore.
Thanks,
oh,
bud.
fuck. I already
so
fucked
the
it up.
point being is that it
breathe, Mystic.
It is a rock in the goddamn ground. But what it is think of it like a triangle, and you extruded it in 3 dimensions, right? So you had this like a tube, but triangular shaped. And if that tube broke down, it would just break into a smaller triangular tube. And if it breaks down smaller, it breaks into a smaller triangular tube. And that is like those, what asbestos is, it's basically a natural electric insulator. It's completely resilient to heat. And it also is a strengthener to materials. So, I mean, we've been using it for over 4,500 years. So, like back in the old days in Finland, they would bust up asbestos and mix it in with clay, and all those fibers actually think of like a fiberglass. Makes that clay pot stronger, and then also it can handle higher heats when they're cooking with it. The fucking pharaohs. What's that?
I'll ask questions later.
The pharaohs, ancient pharaohs, they would bury they'd be buried with asbestos wraps. They'd make cloths to help kind of preserve the bodies. Many civilizations, ancient civilizations, the rich would make napkins and tablecloths with them. And how they cleaned them? Throw them in the fire.
Wow. So it was like completely made out of asbestos, and it's fucking flexible when you break those rocks
like
down?
When if you maybe like search like asbestos rock separating, it's kind of like a weird like fiber when you break it apart. And so it's been around. The thing is, even ancient writers would know, they called it a slave disease. Because of course, like, these fuckers who are like, watch me burn my fucking napkin. Even, goddamn, what was his name? One of those fucking rich ancient guys. His trick would be like, he would make someone spill tea on his, shawl or whatever, and he would fake to get all pissed off, and then he'd throw it in the fire like a parlor trick, and then burn it. It would come out clean. And besides that, they were also trebuchets. So think of this. Back when they were fucking sieging castles, the trebuchet, they would make sacks of asbestos because it was fireproof. They could fill it with fucking burning tar. And it would just, you wouldn't have to worry about it falling apart, and they just launched those shits over. The ancient Acropolis.
Launch those shits over.
They had the eternal flame. The theory is that it was an asbestos wick, because they could make lanterns, wicks with asbestos, and they just would never burn short. They basically would last forever.
What was that? What was that called?
The eternal flame.
The eternal flame.
I know.
Like,
Where was it at though? What country?
I think it was ancient Greece, like the
Acropolis.
Athenian.
So Greek,
the Athenian
is
Acropolis.
Greek fire? Is it involved with Greek fire?
Oh, I'm sure Greek fire could be the fuel, and the wick would just be made of asbestos.
Greek. Okay, yeah.
Greek fire is like the old napalm, right?
So
Yeah.
it can stay on fire?
It can stay on fire. It will not burn. That is a thing of
What
why.
the fuck?
That's kind of
This-
weird.
Right?
It's from rock.
Right.
But
Well,
What the fuck is this?
Because if it's from
It's a
rock,
silica.
Alien bullshit.
It's a
Right?
silica rock.
yeah,
Um,
it should melt or something at least if you
Yeah,
put
you
it in
keep
fire
saying
long enough.
that, but I
And
don't believe you, Ash.
That's why it was too good to be true. Because and then even like in the ancient days, there was a little side note here. The salamander. There's this weird thing about the salamander. You'll see. I got this fucking logo in the outline of the Insulators Union.
That's some real
Me and my coworker
Illuminati
recently-
shit.
We were even talking. I'm like, what's the fucking deal with the salamander? Like, I was like, I don't know, fucking know. You know, some of these union logos are so far back. They have these weird references that make no sense. Turns out, while researching asbestos became known in the ancient world as, for some reason, that everyone thought salamanders were mysterious. It's probably just because they're slimy and no one wants to touch them. So, anyways, they thought that the skin of the salamander was fireproof and ice. And somehow the salamander, through language and trade, the salamander, they started calling asbestos salamander wool.
Nobody tried to freeze or burn a salamander to prove this.
Exactly.
theory.
It's one of those things, like even a Marco Polo, when he traveled to Asia, he's kind of like, wait, so in Asia, they referred, like, to them, salamander was asbestos. And to him, he's like, well, it's a weird lizard, you know where I'm from, but he's like, in Asia, it's a mineral. They basically refer to that same term as a salamander. And the Insulators Union, they were known as the Asbestos Union back in the day, because it was so heat resilient. It was used in so many goddamn products so when shit really started getting bad was the Industrial Revolution. We started using them in firefighter suits. They made theater curtains that were made of asbestos because, like, if there was a fire, it wouldn't burn down. They could cut off the room. Let's see here. Construction materials, all kinds of steam gaskets for the steam engines. Basically, you mix asbestos with rubber and you make a heat resilient gasket. It's like they realized we can mix this shit in everything and it's better. Well, the problem is in the Industrial Revolution.
Better, all right.
Oh yeah, it's better in so many ways, and that's also why it took so long to fucking ban it. Was they had entire pipe insulation. The shipyards.
How did they find out that it was? I mean, how did they find out that it was cancerous?
Well, because
does it cause other problems besides cancer?
Yeah. So besides being even way back in the day, juice filters.
Really?
Breathing apparatus.
God.
I'm going to make my breathing apparatus out of asbestos.
Oh man, that's a bad idea.
Is it, and also is a third part of that question is it ingesting, inhaling, is it or just touching? What kind of
inhaling? So you see this one photo here in the outline above that logo where it's like compares it to a human hair, and then look at that asbestos fiber.
The drink filter really, so ingesting it doesn't hurt you. It's the inhaling it.
Holy fuck!
I'm sure ingesting it. If you were to ingest a lot of it, yeah, that's gonna hurt.
You can't eat a shit ton of. But I mean, it's not the main cause of its cancerous thing.
What it is that it, like I was explaining, or think of it like a triangular tube that can break into smaller triangular tubes. When you breathe the dust in, and because of the Industrial Revolution, they're like, we can mix this shit in with everything.
Yeah.
Which basically meant we're going to grind it to a powder and then combine it with other materials.
And filters breathing filters cost more than human lives. I get that part.
You breathe this in, right? And for the most part, the larger ones will get caught by your sinus hairs and mucus, and the cilia of your lung tissue will help kind of push that, like the dirt we're breathing in, like the Canadian wildfires. You know, our lungs
fucking
are always
Canadians.
because Goddamn Canadian wildfires.
Dude, I was in
They do
Iowa.
this too?
When I was in
What's that?
Iowa, I saw the fucking. It was so hazy because of fucking wildfires. It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Was this
I
fucking
was like, holy shit.
Was asbestos Canadian?
It was the
Canada's
fucking
fault too?
Canadians. Go get him, Mystic. You go get
Oh,
him.
actually, Canada had they were a huge manufacturer of asbestos, and in some of these documentaries where Canada had to shut down these mines.
That's it. I'm done. Just go get these motherfuckers.
So anyways,
We finally have our excuse to invade Canada again.
and then you see down, you scroll down a little further, you'll see the pictures of kind of. So I was explaining how it's like, think of it as a long triangle tube that can break into smaller triangle tubes.
This thing.
It gets so small. Like here's like what a lung looks like with asbestos exposure, and then mesothelioma. So what it does is it's so small. Those are the little fucking like metaphage, I believe it's called. They're the cells that try to deal with a debris. So these things lodge in and they try to like absorb it like a bacteria or dirt or something. The problem is
it's asbestos.
They can't. It's asbestos. They can't break it down.
Right.
That you can't. It can't. It's like impermeable on such a microscopic level that those triangular tubes start cutting into the DNA of the cells themselves.
Damn, dude.
Literally knocking little chunks. They're so small.
They get that.
They'll
small.
knock little
God
chunks
damn.
of the DNA loose, and then then eventually, and sometimes it takes, like with heavy exposure, the fastest maybe you'll notice is 10 years later, but usually it's 30 years later that you are starting to get those symptoms because those little fucking triangular tubes are stuck in your lung tissue, scarring continuously because all these little cells are trying to clean it up, but they can't, and they keep cutting themselves while trying to absorb these little pieces. And then some of them turn cancerous because
wow,
your DNA got a little fucked.
They just give up and say, "Fuck
Like,
it, I'm
look
playing."
down
that's
that
pretty
one,
fucked up.
Look down, you see that one? It's like wrapped around it, almost like a toothpick. It is so on that level is how
Kind of looks like
So
a
you can
chicken
get-
bone.
they call it. So by the 1870s, the first industrial mine had opened. But by late 1800s, medical professionals were like making these reports. Even in 1898, the British government, commissioned a report on the problem. But the thing is, it was just continually in such high demand that it's been noted back as far as those ancient writers. In 1906, it was like the first reported death in England. It's 33 years old.
19 what year?
1906
1906
was the
okay.
first, like when a government reported it as, and actually, officially on the death report, blaming asbestos, because what they would always do is say tuberculosis or pneumonia. But essentially, some of these workers, they didn't even live before anyone took it seriously. They didn't live long enough to get cancer. What happened literally is those little tiny tubes filled up the lung sacs, the little air sacs that do the transfer of the oxygen, and some of these there was these autopsies where they would open the lungs up and like literally it was just like, it was full of crystal fibers.
Wow. So I get like in terms of like the manufacturing of this stuff and you're grinding it down or whatever, but with like for a theater fucking curtain or a stage curtain or a gasket or whatever, how does that get into somebody's lungs?
Oh, well, especially if it's a theater curtain, it would be just like our polyester and cotton shirts. Like, think of all the...
Yeah, but you're not wearing a curtain, though. And just because
no.
somebody with a polyester shirt...
Wearing it or not, I'm saying it's like... Actually, that's more dangerous. Textiles made of asbestos are more dangerous than, say, like tiles, where they're much more solid. The dangerous part is like where it starts to break down and the dust around the edges. It's the smaller particulates. If asbestos is mixed into or like say a asbestos rubber gasket, like so as long as you're not grinding that gasket up, like you could dispose of it. But when you have a curtain or any textile, it's always kind of shedding. Granted, it's not as dangerous as the asbestos napkins, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And in some of these, so like even today, like Russia is still the biggest manufacturer of asbestos.
Of course they are.
They still use that shit? Dog, what?
Oh yeah.
Fuck?
Of course they are. They probably wrap their fucking
that's the thing, too.
babies
It's
in
like-
that shit.
Right? Yeah, swaddle your infants, young Russians.
Oh yeah. Well, there was one of the Vice
asbestos.
documentaries where it's like the fucking Vice reporter went with the full like hazmat, and the Russians are just
Oh,
looking at it like,
God.
you fucking dumb
Way
idiot.
to look like a pussy. For
yeah,
America.
you pussy ass Vice News. It's like Jesus
Just get the
Christ.
disease, faggot.
It's
Like a
one of those.
man.
The thing is, so much of it went up in all the way up into the basically the 1970s is like the heyday of like asbestos production. Even though all the way through this time, it was actually like in the especially pre-World War II, the studies were being paid for by the companies who manufactured it themselves.
Of course it was.
So it kind of like Exxon being like, yeah, shit, we know. Or was it Exxon or BP? Where it's like, yeah, climate change is some serious shit.
Well,
Hide that report.
Or like, on the
Yeah.
other hand, you know that JD, you know how those people always like quote JD Power and Associates?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's owned by Chrysler.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, basically they sponsored the reports, and then also they stressed that like we are the ones who are providing the funds, and we have sole ownership over these findings, and basically would scrub out any references to cancer. So yeah, in that time too, in 1940, this is a study in 1940, they found 81% of lab mice who are exposed to asbestos formed lung cancer. They fucking
Wow.
did that. So even back to 1939 during the World's Fair, the Johns Mayville Company, which is the one that was paying for these medical studies, made Asbestos Man. He looked like a fucking like superhero
and
at the World's Fair.
700 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Touched him and killed them all.
So, by World War II, stockpiling was used because of the, just for military supplies in general. It was used in everything from bazookas, jeep engines, warships, medical like gauze pads.
Jeez.
And then
Oh, that's
also
awesome.
you think about this
because
too.
if you get injured and get on fire, at least you're
All
wounds
that
are fine.
construction that was done in Germany and Japan during Reconstruction. You know, we
Asbestos, yeah.
invested and fixed the sucker up. Yeah, full of
we'll come
asbestos
fix the
tiles.
shit up, guys.
We made a lot of shit.
Yeah,
a
we'll
lot
come
of
fix it up for you.
Yeah.
30 years from now.
So, yeah,
Have
by
fun, but we'll
after
come
World War
fix it up for you.
II, it was then in everything from brake pads. That was another thing too. Think about the
I
brake
heard
pad.
about that.
Oh.
Brake pads used to be made
Oh,
with
dude, that
Yeah, so
dust
you're
would be
Dust would
fucking
be
everywhere,
everywhere.
Yeah, grinding
man.
dust all over
man.
your car.
Oh my
Jeez.
But
god.
it made a great brake pad. It was a
Holy fuck.
Yeah, if it's heat
was like the-
resistant, that's a
That's
fantastic
a
fucking brake
fantastic
pad.
brake pad.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you could do it
they
off the
used it-
cancer and death, it'd be great.
Oh, elevator brake pads as well. Air conditioners had it for installation.
Air
Oh,
conditioner.
so in the
Wow.
Wizard of Oz, there's that scene where it's like winter and there's fake snow falling.
That's
asbestos?
Yeah.
That was
Asbestos,
awesome.
yeah.
Why would they
Yeah.
do that?
Because they didn't know
They
back
didn't know at
then.
the time. Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
They didn't know at the time. Yeah, it's all asbestos. I knew about
I
that.
mean, the
shit.
general public didn't know, but even though the companies knew, and
Imagine like
also
wow,
use
they
it-
shoot your
cigarette
families and
filters?
you work for the companies and you're like, oh, we just killed all those people.
cigarette
Poor Judy
filters
Garland.
had asbestos. I just fucking smoking
Cigarette
tobacco
filters?
through
Just
cigarette
inhale
filters.
it
Yeah.
straight
Holy
in.
fucking shit.
Yep.
Right?
Surgical thread, and then also
Oh.
there's even it was used as an abrasive in toothpaste.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
I love how you
God.
smiled when you said that.
Damn.
People will put anything and anything to make money.
Moron.
Jesus Christ.
So even to this day, so you remember the recent like lawsuit with against Johnson & Johnson for the ovarian cancer with talcum baby powder?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize it's like it wasn't really the baby powder or talc itself per se, but a lot of times these mines are adjacent to veins of asbestos. And so it's like, oh yeah, it's a talc mine, but there was even one. It's called vermiculite.
I didn't know talc. I didn't know talc was a natural substance. I thought it was like a lab made substance. That hence the
talc.
cancer.
Oh no, talc is talc is basically a mineral used for fucking powdering your balls or your hands as a gymnast.
As fuck.
But I don't know. I say yeah. What happened though was that these talc mines were they were adjacent to asbestos veins. It was just ground up as talc, sold as talc, and women who are putting it every day down on their coochie.
What the fuck?
They were
grinding,
getting asbestos fibers, and they slowly made their way up to their ovaries and caused cancer.
Money. We have shareholders.
You can get asbestos can work its way up through your uterus.
Yeah, those fibers, they get the wiggling. I get it, yeah, especially with the fucking and all.
Oh yeah, with the fucking that was in there. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Teddy, they work your way up into that ovary.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that dick size. Way to go, Mystic. I appreciate that compliment.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah, I like
Who's the real friend now? Ashtray called his favorite. I said you had a big dick. All right.
Yeah, right.
Now it just sounds weird. Okay, cool. What's going on here? Y'all are being way too nice to me. What the fuck's going on?
Right?
Yeah.
Did you guys kill my dog or something? What is going on?
Not yet.
We got something to tell you.
I mean, I feel like you do because
we're just gonna hold her.
Yeah, we actually have an experiment. We sent you a package of fucking asbestos.
Yeah.
No, I already know not to open anything for you guys because it will be shit from some fucking website you can order shit from.
Yeah.
All right, to wrap this up here, by 1964, Dr. Erwin Silica found that 25%, there was basically a 25% higher death rate between any of asbestos workers and any other factory workers or like coal miners, other people who are exposed to a lot of, even that's the thing too, is like during this time, everyone has to think about the fact that it was the way it was in any factory. Like think of the textile workers, how dusty that was and shit. Like dust was anywhere, especially when there wasn't even EPA back then. But by the EPA, I think started in 1970. By 1973, they had banned spray insulation of asbestos. And by 1989, they banned manufacturing, importing, processing, and sale of asbestos. But then in 91, the asbestos companies basically sued and overturned it.
What? Wait, what? In 91?
91, yeah.
Damn.
But by this time, so many European countries had already started banning it and phasing it out because the thing is, like, even the insurance companies are like, yeah, like, we're going to charge higher premium and we're not, oh, you're an asbestos worker? Like, we're not going to cover you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's pretty obvious at this point. Actually, in 2016, it took Congress and Obama to update the Toxic Substances Control Act.
Thanks, Obama.
To get it fucking banned. 2016, yeah. And then, Trump comes in.
Banned until 2016? Jesus
wasn't like I think officially listed, even though like most companies were staying away from it because they want to be associated with it.
Most companies can say that, but they can still build a house.
Yeah, most companies are lying pieces of shit.
They get to regulate themselves.
What they do is they leave the manufacturing now to Russia and like Asian countries.
Leave it to Russia, they'll do it.
Yeah.
So I could have fucking Russian walls right now filled with asbestos. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're so
good.
Anyways, when Trump took office, then the EPA appointee Nancy Beck basically just put a stop to any EPA studies and regulations on asbestos. Basically, just said like, yeah, we're just not going to. So Obama made it.
We don't test for it.
Thing, but we're not going to test for it. Yeah, exactly. We're not going to test for it. We're not going to study it. So we're not actually
makes me feel so safe.
Right.
Yeah. And during that time, there was a Russian company, asbestos mining company, that would actually they stamped on the pallets a big fucking image of Trump saying like Trump approved asbestos.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they totally used Trump.
This is the virus that's gonna kill your family because you wanted these walls, bro.
But yeah, to this day they say, and a lot of it's like these people who weren't even working in the asbestos mine, but they lived in the communities nearby. They say today it still kills about 3,000 plus people a year in the U.S. alone.
Wow.
And around 100,000 a year in the world.
That shit's airborne, man.
And like, is it fucking Bangladesh where they break the old ships down?
Oh, yeah.
They, because that's a huge industry out there. And part of the documentary was that because all these old ships were made with tons of asbestos, especially for like the heat pipes and stuff. These and all those ships get broken down and they scavenge anything usable. So these market guys, he's like, oh yeah, he's like, just got stacks and stacks. He's like, oh, it's it's fine, it's safe. And he's like, when it works really good to get the oil and grease out of your hands as you scrub asbestos. And I guess like the abrasiveness of those little fucking fibers clean the oil out of all your.
That just makes my hands itch.
Of course they do.
It's like your hand. It's like your hand.
How's your hands not itch?
Yeah.
The motherfucker.
Reminds like I get it. Yeah.
It's like you ever touch fiberglass insulation?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what
he goes home and fingers his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like
checks her oil.
She sues Johnson & Johnson for millions of dollars, and then you both die 2 years after that money.
She fucking hits him with a frying pan. She's in the middle of milking the goat
with asbestos.
Just wait. All right. Well, that's asbestos, motherfuckers. Now you know.
That was actually more terrifying and more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be.
Knowing's half the battle.
It's crazy. Oh, it's like it's so resilient, but at the same time, it kills a motherfucker. The only way you can dissolve it with a chemical, I guess. But like,
what chemical?
Oh, whatever. It's some acid that dissolves.
Whatever. What the?
I'm just saying, like, it feasibly, like you can't clean it up. There's a whole like area in Canada where they have these tailing mines. They're mountains of just ground up rock that has asbestos in it. And they put like an international or, one of their interstates right winding through these. And the thing is like the wind is blowing it on the road. And then when you're driving, you're kicking up that dust. It's like, keep your windows up.
Awesome.
Anyways. All right, move along.
Thank you for telling me what part of Canada to keep my windows up,
Yeah. I didn't even get into Canada. Fuck their wildfires.
Fuck wildfires.
Moving along to the what sexy section. Oracle, Tower of Power.
Tower of Power. So I have been wanting to get something like this before. I haven't had a decent pull-up bar in a long time. So I got one of these things where it's like a pull-up bar, dip bar. It's got a thing kind of handles where you can do push-ups.
Frame or
its own frame thing.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been hitting that in the mornings while I'm doing some work and getting some fitness and
freestanding. Now, like, can you put like a fucking bar to do squats and shit on it, kind of thing?
No, it's not like that. You can't do squats with it. It's just kind of like it's got the pull-ups, it's got the dips, and it's got the push-ups, and it's it's not small, but it's pretty low profile and sturdy. And it's quite tall. That's the thing, with pull-ups and stuff. I don't want to be doing pull-ups where my fucking knees are
bent,
touching the goddamn ground.
Well, see, I don't have that problem because I'm a short guy.
Well, there you go.
I have to use a chair half the time when I do a pull-up.
Yeah. So
how luggy?
It's good. It's a good, simple, and I'm kind of at the point where I don't want to spend time going to a gym or anything. But you can, if you're just occasionally, you'll just bust out some pull-ups, some push-ups and dips and, do some core exercises and shit like that. You'll definitely get some fitness in you. So, it's good. I like it.
Nice.
Word.
Get those dips. Get those dips.
Get you ready to get in shape for that baby, bud.
Yeah, that's right.
Heck yeah.
I just got some brownies from my pregnant wife, so yeah.
Yeah, right.
Gotta work that off in the morning.
Go fucking work that off. All right, moving on to Mystic. Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta. Mystic's fucking thing died.
Either the controller died or the Wii.
All right, let's move on to Teddy. First drive-in movie for son.
So went to Iowa to see the in-laws, and they took us to a drive-in movie. I got to be honest. The first time I didn't want to go because I know how late drive-in movies start. At this age, I didn't really want to do that. But I went. The movies that were playing were Elemental and the second Indiana Jones movie. So the first drive-in movie that I can remember going to, what happened? Did his Xbox fuck up?
Maybe.
The first drive-in movie I could remember going to was
Hello?
Hello.
Skype is such a piece of shit, dude. I had to replace my battery, and I'm sitting there listening to you guys, like trying to talk and shit. Nobody's going there. God damn.
Dude, you know what's funny? I can't get Skype on my Xbox Series X.
Really?
Yeah, if I search
Probably
for
a
it,
good thing.
if I search for it, it's not there. If I go on my son on the Xbox One X that I gave my son, it's on there, but I can't get it on this console, which is kind of crazy. Weird. But anyway, so the very first drive-in movie I went to go see with my parents was Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. So now taking my son to when my in-laws took us to see this movie to see the second movie was actually pretty cool. The sad part about it is we didn't make it that long. They didn't start the first movie until about 9:30, so it was over around
What were the two movies?
Elemental and Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny.
Oh.
I don't really get the drive-in experience. Like, what's the appeal?
Have you ever been to one?
No, I haven't. It just sounds like you got shitty
kind of like
sound.
you're in the park almost.
Okay, it's not shitty sound because the sound comes.
It goes through your speakers in your car.
In car now, and so
it used to be really shitty because you used to have just one little speaker you had to hook to your fucking
window. Yeah, it's fucking sucks.
Window.
So what do you tune into a radio station?
Yeah, you tune into the radio station of that drive-in, and the cool thing about it is everybody there usually have especially in the South or where we go take ours or up there, they all have pickups and shit. So everybody's got their windows down. Everybody's blasting.
Anyone with a good system is maxing it out.
Yeah, and everybody's blasting the radio, so like you're getting a movie from every aspect. It's sound from every. It's actually pretty cool. And then you're outside.
To see it though, I'm gonna be honest with you. You were in a truck, right, Teddy? From that picture I saw.
Yeah, we were in the back bed of a truck. Yeah.
Yeah, that you have to be in the back of a truck, in my opinion.
Yeah,
or an open like SUV.
Yeah,
because watching it through your windshield is lame as shit.
It's lame as shit. Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's how we watched it back in the day though, through the windshield.
Yeah, we had to.
The shitty speaker. Yeah.
When I finally went for the first time with a truck and like. You make blankets and pillows, get a little fucking shit in the back. Dude, it's fucking great.
Yeah,
man.
it was
70 degrees, fucking shit blasting, watching a couple movies, getting hammered.
That's the fun part.
The first time me and my first wife went, we took her SUV, backed it up, we closed the door, but had the back window open. And I was trying to make out, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, it's a drive-in movie. It's fine. We can do this. It's cool. We're cool."
That's part of
It's part
of real drive.
You think a lot of people are fucking at the drive-in?
Come on, neck a little. She's like, "I'm watching the movie."
There was a group of teenagers that had like 4 or 5 cars with like pickups with campers and beds. They had that window open. I was like, "They're definitely fucking in there." They were definitely fucking. But I thought it was pretty cool. Just my son,
lame.
He didn't want to go originally, but and then once he got there, he thought it was cool. It was it was a nice experience, a very nice experience. So yeah,
word him up.
Yeah.
All right, moving back to Mystic Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta.
All right, so I didn't want to take my Xbox, but I didn't really have anything to do after old people went to bed.
That's why. And then now you can never make fun of me for taking my Xbox again.
Yeah, but you don't have to now.
You do.
So I was like, I wonder how you don't. Teddy?
You do.
I wonder how this works. And I tried it. I played 7 games of baseball. Not one of them froze.
Really?
They were all smooth as fuck, and not one of them froze. When I play my Xbox, through my tablet, over the fucking cloud with a controller.
Yeah.
Oh, you connected a controller
perfectly.
Yeah.
When I use my fucking Xbox, that's supposed to fucking work, every single one of them freezes.
Funny.
There you go.
Now, do you cast that tablet to a TV, or you just use a tablet, just playing like mobile?
Use the tablet.
Just use tablet, yeah.
I mean, it's right. I'm right up on it. I actually play better.
I'm right up on it. Fuck yeah.
How long is this gonna? This has been in beta for like 2 years. 2 years.
3 or 4 years.
Gonna wait till it's
what the
right.
fuck, man?
I was like,
it
this
now.
ain't gonna work, dude. I played other games. They worked fucking perfectly. It's crazy.
I will tell you this. It's crazy because
good that
actually. Yeah, it is actually pretty. I've never wanted to try the beta, but the beta part.
Come with your Xbox Live Pass.
But I've never done the cloud part. I've always taken my Xbox with me. But being at home, the PlayStation Cloud fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
And the worst part about it is like their new Game Pass is a lot of those games you can't download like you can on Xbox. You actually have to play through the cloud. But because their cloud sucks so badly, you don't enjoy the games. It's like trying to play Batman Arkham with like a 3-second lag because their cloud is not good enough. Fucking sucks.
Wow.
So,
Sounds like
yeah, we were like, me and my 2 daughters were all playing Fortnite and shit. Fucking just on our tablets.
And it was real good, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Dude, and I was playing baseball on a 100 meg internet system with multiple devices hooked to it through Wi-Fi.
Oh, really?
My Xbox is fucking hardwired through a 400 meg system, and that motherfucker freezes every time.
Well, there you go.
It's unbelievable.
I'll have to try it next time.
It really fucking blows my goddamn mind that they make games
it takes a lot.
engineered for this, and it pisses me off that they engineer this shit for the X and S, but then they're like, you don't have to buy the new one. Well, obviously you do. If I want to fucking play with the new system, I obviously have to buy the new one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking pieces of shit.
So
anyway.
you did this cloud from you have an Xbox One X, right?
Yeah, the old, not
the Series X, the Xbox One X.
Not the One X, just the one, right?
Just the one.
No, I got a new one.
Oh,
actually, it's
got
the
an
One
X?
S. It's not the X. It's the S.
Oh, One S. Okay.
Yeah. So
now, could you play all your games?
It's not the fastest, but it should be able to fucking play the game.
Ain't that some shit? It's almost so fuck what you think.
So my question is,
I think the cloud gaming is fantastic.
Only the games that had cloud gaming on them, or did they have a cloud symbol on them? Because I've never.
On there, on there, just type in cloud gaming, and it's browser based too, which pisses me off even more. Because you don't even have to download an app.
The fucking gripes never end.
You know what I'm saying? You just fucking, dude. They have a whole shit ton. Every game that I wanted to play was on there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I tried it one time on my cell phone, and it seemed like the performance was good, but it was kind of lame how the controls were right on my screen, and I just didn't have a good way to.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's why I like that all Xbox controllers after the Xbox One X were Bluetooth, so you can use them as a Bluetooth device, connect to your phone.
Yeah.
Anything that's Bluetooth, you can use them to connect to and play, and not even Xbox.
One thing I did find weird though is that Hayrod would send me an invite and it wouldn't come through. I had to send him an invite to every game. Yeah, jeez. I don't know what that is all about.
That's cloud dominance there.
Cloud gaming on the Xbox here, when I play like a cloud game here on my home, whatever, instead of downloading it, I can't play with other people. It's the same thing. I have to invite them. They can't invite me. So
yeah.
All right, moving on.
Way to wrangle the show in, Ashtray.
Fucking Ashtray. Lighten up the dance floor. And
now you know how it feels.
I had I've been getting a lot of dancing in lately, and now that I'm doing 2 classes a week. And
boy.
Had last night, like, this band from Boston. I get invited to this show from this indie pop piano princess who I met at the Cardinal. And so this band headlining the show is from Boston. Whatever. It's like there's enough blurb that's like, oh yeah, they got this fucking NPR tiny desk, whatever, kind of shit. Like, I guess they're a big deal in Boston. But
what's their name?
Air Traffic Controller. They're like an indie rock band.
Indie rock band named Air Traffic Controller. Weird.
And so, of course. Anyways, all I did that day, I just like fucking listened to the new album and like some of the top tracks, and it's like you just get enough of that like familiarity, and then it's like this lead singer's like, "This is the first show in our tour where everybody's sitting down," and it's just like, hold my beer.
Suck.
I fucking I got up and just lit myself up right in front. With no fucks, and it's like you get that dynamic with the performer as like when you're participating in the audience, and then like at the end of the night, like the band is thanking me half as much as I'm thanking the band, and Anyways,
What?
So-
Were you at the fucking Amish hall or something?
no,
like,
it's a Wednesday night. Like, they're like bands do have like fucking gigs where there's just like no one there. You know, it's a Wednesday night.
Oh,
There were a couple people who
me and
knew
Oracle
them.
know about that.
yeah, right.
Yeah, right? Like you're gonna have those. But that point being is like the reciprocal energy of dancing. And anyways, segue on to a whole other thing is we may be not having a show next week because Ashtray is going to try to get his name in on the amateur burlesque show, and I already got myself some fucking
Well,
gay boy briefs.
live
Yeah,
stream.
I'm not sure which one I'm gonna
Hey,
wear.
you were really getting into this face fucking guys thing, aren't you?
Yep, it's all just a face fuck, guys.
You better work on those abs.
I think this would
really-
be. I know, right? I
You
gotta
gotta
wear
get
You
a
gotta
tower
do
of
better.
power, man.
Teddy, you
Um,
watch It's Always Sunny, right?
I do, yes. I haven't seen the new season though. I'm waiting.
You know how Mac is just blatantly gay?
Yes.
He's absolutely Mac, is he not?
He is.
Have you seen
Why
yes.
not?
that episode where he comes out to his dad
Yeah,
and he does
yeah.
the stage thing?
Yep.
That's
Fantastic.
Ashtray right there.
So yeah, Ashtray will be doing a solo. Not fucking relying on my friend to half-ass like, wait, we're gonna do it. No, we're not. I'm late.
Yeah, he's gonna be fucking a tranny here pretty soon.
Yep.
Hey, whatever. If you connect with him, who's to judge?
He likes the wine in the bottle, not the label. You know.
I always like a good label though too.
I
Really
think he
helps
likes the,
sell it.
I think he just likes the hole in the bowl.
Any- I just like the attention. That's all. I'm just a fucking slut for attention. Really.
Okay, way
I
to
don't
go.
care.
Way to go.
You don't even have to be pretty. Just tell me I'm awesome.
Oracle and I have literally played shows where the only other people there were the bands that played with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is a
Pretty amazing.
that's a normal
Yes.
thing though.
Yeah.
That'd be so demoralizing.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah, pretty demoralizing. Yep.
Yeah. In this band, like
Still
it's
gave
from
it our all.
Boston.
I mean,
And they're like, damn.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like it
Damn.
makes a difference if there's even just someone out there fucking rocking
Yeah.
out when you're the band on stage. Like if you're playing and there's just like no one really feeling it. Ugh. Anyways, moving on to fuck what you think. Oracle, pepper grinding my dick in your ass.
Yeah. So I was making some
Or
fucking
what?
dinner tonight. And my wife, she's like, so I was driving home and I called her. We had these fucking brat buns that I had bought a few weeks ago. I'm like, hey, are these brat buns, are they still good? I'll go pick up some brat. She's like, no, I don't think so. I was like, okay, well, let's do Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes.
There you go.
In like a
Homemade
salad.
gravy, some mushrooms, onions.
Oh
Get-
no,
get
this
in there,
is
bro.
this
Get in
is
there,
this
bro.
is like frozen Salisbury steak,
Oh,
like
you
school
son of a
lunch
bitch.
shit.
I thought you was throwing down in the kitchen for your pregnant
Oh,
wife.
hell
You
no.
son of a
Oh,
Hell
bitch.
no.
Can't
But I was
throw
making
himself on the kitchen.
I was making some fucking mashed potatoes. And you know, everything was going good. Boiled my red potatoes and kind of mashed up. Threw some fucking
Do
butter
you have,
in
you have a
there.
regular masher or potato ricer?
Regular masher.
Okay.
Fucking threw.
I brought a ricer. Dude, I'll send
Eddie,
you one on Xbox.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Sorry.
nobody cares about your ricer.
Fucking
Alright.
Ashtray Jr.
Yeah,
cooking heads.
threw some sour cream in there, threw a bunch of cheese in there, put some salt in there. Okay, tasted it. I'm like, all right, maybe a little too salty, so let's put a little pepper in here. So I've got one of these pepper things where you grind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking all off.
And I've got this grinder. It fucking shatters in my hand because I've been using the
no.
tower of power in my insane strength. Like just
I don't know,
shreds
Mom,
it.
it's
Not what I expected.
So strong.
So the
Hulk
fucking
angry.
whole
Was it
fucking
peppercorns everywhere?
peppercorns in the mashed potatoes, in like
Oh,
cheesy
no.
mashed potatoes. So you can't get that shit out of there. So when we eat this, I'm just like, babe, you just gotta spit it out. Like,
Wait, you fed her glassy fucking.
yeah, I know.
kind of
I was
piece of
eating
shit?
it. And I
Why
had like a big piece of plastic.
Just suck on
Dude,
the mashed potato.
it was like getting fucked in the ass, man.
Holy
It was just
shit!
like,
Oh,
what
okay.
the fuck is this
I can't
world?
believe you tried to.
God, Obama. What
so
the
funny.
fuck, dude?
Jesus Christ.
It wasn't even that bad. I had a similar where like I just drunkenly flipped the wrong side of the lid for like the spoon end. It just boosh. You're like, God.
Yeah, I've done
Like
that.
on my couscous, it's like there's no saving it. Just like
It was like the last ingredient too, you know. It's like, okay,
Right.
just one last thing, man.
Just top it off with some pepper. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, buy a
Fuck
potato
that
rice.
shit.
It'll change your life.
Potato ricer. I don't know.
Potato
That's
rice or dick
weird.
your ass. All right,
Even
moving
makes
on.
Sal's
Mystic.
very steak. You think he's gonna rice up some potatoes?
Dodge Ram. Fuck you.
Dodge Ram. Fuck you. That's all I gotta say. Things are a piece of shit. At least the one I drove was. Rented a Dodge Ram. It's got the 3.6 turbo.
Recently.
Yeah, I just got back today. Visited the in-laws.
What were you renting?
While it have-
for? Fun.
Well,
Goddamn ashtray. Fucking goddamn ashtray. Let him
Yeah,
feed.
it's a question.
Yeah, right?
Sorry.
That's right. Let's be equal here,
Okay,
fellas.
yelling it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Equal.
yeah, it just it drives like a piece of shit. It's uncomfortable. It's got a decent amount of power, but that's it.
Mm.
Just saying, I don't like them.
Fuck you, Dodge.
Stay away from.
Not
Stay away,
Mystic
bro.
approved. All right, moving on. Ashtray, deprogramming pickup artists. This is Friday at the Crucible. Dudes come up and start talking to me. Yeah, hey, you're the dancing guy. As it like I'm like whatever. I'm usually the meat man where people like I don't know you, but they know me. Anyways, these guys just start talking to me, so I get this. It's like totally
I'm the meat man.
fucking. It's kind of that like wingman pickup artist dynamic. These guys are like they're like 32 or whatever.
Who the fuck are
And-
these people?
I thought they knew
There are
me in the
people
first. Whatever.
that know him as either the meat man or the dancing
I thought so
guy,
because they
okay?
talking to me like you're the dancing guy. That's how the one guy approached me. Like he knew me, but then I realized like I don't know you and you don't actually know me. But they started talking about like, well, yeah, you know, we're here, we're just scouting out girls, you know, it's got. I was thinking about how I'm going to talk to this one, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, well, that's your problem right there. That's like, you're that whole idea that like, you know, because they refer to themselves like wingman, and then they're like too like, I'm really practicing on like talking to people. I have a hard time closing. And I'm like, stop thinking like that. Like when you think
Right.
about closing, like you're setting up that expectation. And when you call yourself a wingman, you're on a fucking mission. You got to realize it's like, if anything, like that's advice I could say, man, flirt with the world. But
What?
like, don't try to.
Do they
like,
read like a self-help book or what
well,
the
it's
fuck?
like do you remember the game?
Have they ever talked to a
that came
woman
out
before?
and
Right.
it was total mid 2000s like pickup artist kind of tactics, and I was like, dudes, like women know this shit already. You can't like try doing these things where it's like, oh, this is my approach, you know, all these how I'm gonna talk to like go her over there. Go talk to her. How are you gonna talk to her? I'm like, why? Why don't she doesn't want anything to fucking do with me. If I actually wanted to talk to her, maybe as passing by, I'd compliment her fucking dress or something. Like you make an acknowledgement of them as a human being, and then you carry on throughout the fucking dance club.
Yeah,
As
compliment
soon
her
as they know-
feet.
yeah,
They
you
love
got big
that.
feet.
Baby, you got them big feet. I love it.
Yeah, like Fats Domino's talked about. But like, I'm like, as soon as like they know you're fucking angling for them, of course, like you don't get anywhere. You're setting that expectation and mission up.
Well,
And-
and I feel like women nowadays think that's creepy.
Well, exactly, and that's why I was like, well, I'm having a hard time closing. I'm like, because you're thinking about closing. Like,
Yeah.
no, if you have
yeah.
kind of some organic chemistry and conversation happens, happens. But as soon as like
Just go with it,
you
yeah.
feel someone getting like weird or awkward, I pull myself back because like I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, and I can completely hold my own. I'm gonna go back out there dancing. I'm not gonna make you feel weird.
Yeah.
And if anything,
Ashtray
it's like
just lets them come to him. You know.
exactly play dumb enough
Just,
so they don't leave
Just
you
make
alone.
them.
yeah.
Just
Get a shirt that says I got a huge cock.
Stupid effective, and it's a long game thing too. I'm like, I'm like, listen, it's the East Side Madison. It's small enough that like I've had times where it's like it was months later after a good positive interaction with someone where I didn't make them feel creepy. I was not trying to like fucking close with them and get a number or something at the end of the night, but we run into each other again at the club and they're much more receptive, and all of a sudden fucking Ashtray fucking their boyfriend's face. And then the one dude, this is a whole thing. I think that blew his mind, right?
So story just took a turn for the fucking usual.
Well, yeah, it gets dark, right? So the one dude.
No, it's not dark, just usual. Go ahead.
The one dude was like, start because I'm trying to like deprogram this thing, and he started getting into the real shit. He's like, I was, married, and then really early and young, and then got divorced, and like my ex went down to Florida and like married a cop and had kids, and then she sends me this text message like code black or whatever. It was our code of like, if you need anything, like drop anything, I'll be there for you. And he's like, I went down there and like we got a motel room, and we just did some of the fucking dirtiest, nastiest shit ever, and I came back, and 3 months later she killed herself.
Oh my god.
And he's like,
Jesus Christ, Ashtray.
I know this. Hey, this is what he's like, and this is how Ashtray flirts with the world and gets people to tell him sometimes the craziest shit, right? And so he tells me this story.
What?
And he's like, I
This guy you barely know.
I just met him.
You're just trying to fuck his face, and he tells you.
Oh no, this is not the guy fucking the face. This is the pickup artist I was programming.
Oh my god!
And
damn it.
He kind of looked almost like fucking there's the big Clay Matthews from the Packers, long fucking blonde hair. He was like, if I wouldn't have went down there, like she would have just figured it out, and like this wouldn't have happened. I'm like, dude, I know you're beating yourself and you're hanging on to this, but you're thinking that you did this. No, like you were actually there for her. Have you ever thought about that? Like you were there for her.
Kill herself anyway.
And she still could have killed herself, but you were there for her. It was not any like I'm like, you're hinging it on that fact that you think she would have figured it out if you wouldn't have went. She probably still wouldn't have figured it out. And you went and you were there for her. And then like we went in to get another, he like bought a shot and a drink, and then he just got real quiet, right? Like real awkward. And it's kind of like, all right, our kind of gregariousness.
Yeah,
like Ashtray fucking drops some high truth. And then he just like he's like, I gotta go. I'm like, sorry, dude. Like bartender was like, are you all right? You look kind of like you're getting real tired. And he's just like,
and now he's dead.
He like told the bartender,
right.
No,
actually tell me that guy killed himself.
The next night, the bartender actually said, yeah, he came back. Because I was like telling the bartender, I'm like, I don't know what just happened. He just kind of got real like introverted because he was super outgoing before. And I guess he did come back and he apologized. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make. I just had a lot of stuff to think about.
Damn, dude.
Really?
Yeah. After you said you were there for her, man, and then you left, and that's probably why she killed herself. You just stayed there with her.
There,
man,
like a good friend.
Man, I would not fucking put that down. Because that's the thing, you can plant that kind of shit on some poor weak mind like that, who has been hinging on that whole thing that he thought it would have figured out if he wouldn't have gone. And I'm like, dude, you have to realize it probably she would have never figured it out either way, but you were actually there for her. And she's probably grateful of that.
People, though.
What's that?
I like manipulating people. I've told you.
Well, of course.
I mean, like, you were there for her, dude. But yeah, she probably killed herself because you left. I'm just saying.
I kind of agree with Mystic on joking. Since I have a regular customer who comes in, her husband had dementia, passed away months ago, and I told her, I was like, if I was married to somebody with dementia, I'd be playing jokes, and I'm like, what are you doing here? You got divorced like 10 years ago. Like, why are you still here? How'd you get in the house? I mean, she thought.
I wonder. Do a scientific study, right, where it shows like if you just fuck with dementia patients, does their dementia accelerate because they really don't know what the fuck's going on? Because like they just like my entire memory is fucked. Anyways, moving on. Teddy, fat people on airplanes.
Okay, so I went.
Incredible segue.
Like Mystic, I actually went to go see the in-laws. I flew on a plane. I don't look. If you, the guy I sit next to, when I fly with my son, I give him the window seat. I get the middle. I get the middle seat. The stranger gets the aisle seat. I don't know why. I don't know why. Fucking, like I draw fat guys to the fucking aisle seat. I mean, I guess I know why, because they spill over. There's a guy next to me. Me and my son pretty much had to split my seat and his seat. This guy, it was like I had to push him into the aisle to get the armrest down, so that I could get some kind of barrier between us. On most flights, I really wouldn't care, but this is Allegiant. The plane ticket is like $10 a person. Buy a second seat and get out of my fucking way. That's all I gotta say.
Was it a packed plane?
It was not a packed plane.
Ah, so he could.
Neither one of them was packed. Yeah, he could have.
God damn.
Like just buy 2 seats. I mean, it's. I
don't know.
On a
Or
flight,
drive.
When's the last time
my
you flew,
fat ass
Mystic?
does.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when's the last time you flew?
I don't know. The 90s.
Planes weren't even around.
Yeah. I think it literally was like 98.
Where'd you fly to back in
No,
90?
99. My cousin's wedding. I was 21. It was 99.
Yeah.
like when my son was younger, like we'd attract like some skinny guy or some chick or whatever. Yeah, to fly with us, to sit with us. But it's for some reason, like as he's getting older, it's all fat guys. I'm just getting. God damn it!
I know. Or is it just like because we get older, we notice how all of us are getting fatter?
Look, I'm getting fatter too, but if I can't like display my switch on a goddamn airplane because your fat is coming on my shoulder, I don't want to like get a second goddamn seat. Get a second seat.
Did he apologize? Was he gracious?
No, he smelled bad, and I didn't want to make
smelled bad. He smelled bad too. Oh man,
I don't
look at noble Teddy here. Not even bringing up the fucking BO.
I mean, he also smelled bad, and also with 30,000 in the air, I did not. Thank God it was only an hour. It's like an hour and 15-minute flight. For some reason, Allegiant pilots fucking speed their asses off. Like it's supposed to be like an hour and 30, hour 45-minute flight. It took us like an hour and 10 minutes to get there. I'm like the same way coming back. Like Allegiant speeds their asses off. Kind of crazy.
I don't think I've ever flown.
But it's super cheap. But you pay for everything. So
actual footage.
A la carte flying.
Yeah, a la carte flying. Yes.
Would you like one wing or 2 wings?
Actual footage of Teddy on the plane. Actually, here.
Just sitting next to that fucking behemoth.
Is that me? Is that the kerosene?
Yeah.
Please, I just want to stretch my elbow.
I mean, God, like my son's like, why are you in my seat? I'm like, because I
can't reach the air nozzle.
Yeah, I can't fucking. It was so goddamn annoying. Just buy a second seat. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, motherfucker. Right? Or take over the whole plane. Look at Kira. That is it then, isn't it? Let's see.
Thank God.
We'll say, yeah. In all seriousness, go fuck yourself. Your mom.
Did you say your mom?
Yeah. Fuck, I didn't pick anything to fuck. Anyways, this is our show, and I am stoned. We're gonna be here every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central. Probably not next Thursday because Ashray's gonna be fucking flaunting his little derriere.
He's gonna be flirting with the world.
We want some pics.
Flirt with the world. Watch your faces. You can also twiddle us. Nah, we don't do that anymore. We should be threaded but no one wants to take care of that fucking thing. Like us, share us, or fuck us because we're down for whatever. I'm the Ashtray.
I'm Oracle.
I'm Mystic.
And I'm Teddy telling to watch out, white bitches. I'm coming.
Oh, Teddy.
I'm not really coming. I don't know why I said
Teddy will eat your ass. Ashtray will fuck your face.
I will, but I'm married, so.